like to start with a reflection a little bit about thinking about information and what we do with it, and take you back almost, or more than 25 years ago, in 1992, when countries adopted the Rio Declaration. It contained Principle 10, and Principle 10 sets out three basic rights: access to information, access to public participation, and access to justice. And these were seen at the time, many moons ago, as being the key constituents of essential to environmental governance. Now, times have changed significantly, and the technological revolution that we've seen over the last 25 years have basically transformed our ability to exercise these rights. At UNEP-WCMC, we use remote sensing data, Earth observation data, and then we also combine it with biological sciences and do different types of modeling around that in the areas all over the world. I would like to provide a few examples of some of the work that we do. First of all, I was going to talk a little bit about the impact of deforestation. And as Sam has also mentioned, we work with Global Forest Watch partners as well. And this is some of the work that we've done with them. This is Sumatra, Indonesia, looking at the biodiversity importance of tree cover. And obviously, we were using very old satellite data. They're not making use of Planet's coverage. And then, conversely, also looking at the biodiversity importance of the lost tree cover. And what we do by combining this with some of the species data that we hold, such as range rarity, is that we can really zoom into that square, for example, and look at the land use changes, the importance of the biodiversity being lost, and even link it directly to cute species like this. Further, what we do also in terms of the SDGs is we can look at map ecosystem services and look at nature's overall contribution to achieving the SDGs. And it turns out visually to look like something like this. So what we've done here is to map water provisioning services, as well helpfully gave us the overview of the SDGs, the goal 6, but also look at some of the other goals, including carbon sequestration, and then map the extent to which our current state of the environment can support the achievement of the SDGs. Moving more towards monitoring, we develop indices that basically brings together biodiversity significance and forest biodiversity intactness to look at how can we provide information management systems to conservationists, land use planners, to look at the different forest biomes all over the world. So I've brought in a close-up of what you see in terms of the mapping for Europe. And you can see the green areas as biodiversity is significant, pink is intactness, and if you get a dark red color, then you strike both counts. So in Europe, there's quite a lot of fragmentation in terms of the forest, which is probably not something new or news of the day. But if you look at Central and South America, you can see the distribution of these colors is quite different. The final project that I would like to talk about is the Eco-Potential project. And here we played quite a different role, and we didn't do any specific mapping. The Eco-Potential project is a European Horizon 2020 project, where they look at the use of remote sensing data to inform protected areas management. And our role in the project was to look at the use of remote sensing data and the capacity on the ground to apply this in the management systems of these protected areas. And what we found in this study is that most of the protected areas managers and staff really appreciate using remote sensing data, but they also stress that they have limited capacity on the ground to take it further and integrate it into their management decisions. They also had a need to combine it with in situ and on-site observations So some of those tools and methodologies on how you bring the different streams of data together is really something that we need to look at developing capacity on the ground to use the data. And then finally, coming from the UN and as UN environment, we are very mindful of the challenges around data privacy, data sharing laws, institutional capacity, as I just said, but also the tensions between open access data and algorithms, and things such as intellectual property, and appreciating the financial sustainability of these information management systems. These key challenges, in our view, could be addressed by having very strong private-public collaboration around these, and getting sectors to come together and users to come together to look at how can we establish the norms and the standards, how do we create interoperability among the different systems that we have to really deliver the value added to decision makers on the ground. I'm afraid we didn't have a lot of disagreement among the speakers so far, because I'm also absolutely convinced that technology is the means to the end. It is not the end. What we need to use it for is to change behavior that is going to give us the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals. Thank you very much.